Okay, good afternoon. We're here today to talk to you about how we at Roche are evolving the data mesh and its value, supported by data observability. So Roche, if you don't know, we're one of the leading pharmaceutical and diagnostic companies, headquartered in Switzerland, and this is a multi-site project. Okay, so my name's Harvey Robson. I'm the global product owner for data quality and observability, and Monte Carlo is one of the tools that we use in our fleet of quality and observability solutions. So I've been at Roche for 7 years, and I've been working in IT for 20 years in the data quality space. And today I'm joined by the team. We have Santosh here on my left, and we've got Roberto and Hendrik, and they're going to talk to you about Roche's approaches to the data mesh and the architecture. This includes the evolution of the data mesh at Roche and some use cases demonstrating how data observability supports the data mesh and its associated domains and products. So if you can imagine, all the data domains are spread across many sites, different divisions. We need to be able to get the data linked across between the products, data domains, and we can observe that across the lineage of the various data stores. So today's agenda then you've got on the screen there, so we've got a number of topics to run through. At the end of the agenda, we'd welcome your feedback and questions as well. So I'm now going to hand over to Santosh, who will start with the data mesh journey.
Thank you, Howie. A quick introduction about myself. I'm a data architect. I play the role of a data mesh consultant, internal consultant. So we just don't advise, but we also sit with the business, help with the implementation, we help with the audits, and only then leave when it's successful. So it's unlike an external consultant. So I'm an internal consultant resident at Roche. I've been 6 years at Roche across 2 sites. I'm from Kuala Lumpur, so I worked at Kuala Lumpur. Right now I'm in the UK for the last 2 years. I have an experience of about 20 years in the data industry across various domains, industries, countries, you name it, I've done it. Let's get straight into the journey. So the journey in 2019, as you know, data mesh came into the picture by Shamak Dagani. Late in 2020, the corporate executive committee at Roche actually onboarded RDI program, which is Roche Data Insights. The program is basically a playbook of how you do data mesh. It provides the platform. It provides all the tools and framework necessary for domains to onboard into the data mesh journey and develop data products. So it makes it simple, and that's how we've scaled. So in the initial days, we had a couple of domains. The commercial domain, we call it the go-to-market domain, and eventually it moved to the manufacturing domain. So we started with these 2 mature domains, and then came up with the idea of data products. The initial days we were actually doing a lot of mindset changes from the traditional way of operating, and then it is a socio-technical change, as you know. So we had to get a lot of people into trainings of how to do product management with data. It was a tough initial journey, but now we are at the scaling phase. So we've got 30 domains on the data mesh platform, easily about 300 data products for the minimum, I can say, but I don't want to exaggerate here, but at least 300 data products, at least 10 data products per domain, delivering business value impact. And so now the challenges in the focus areas, I've not put it in the slide, but we still want to maintain the value, the data value and impact. So that is our main focus areas. Second is marketing. I think there are brilliant marketers here, like Sydney from Monte Carlo. I think we got to use some of these marketers to make sure our data products are also marketed at the same scale as Snowflake or Monte Carlo or Immuta. So this is the thing which we are focused on this year. And the third thing, any guesses on what the third one is? What's the focus area? Yep, exactly. So we are on this trust journey, building this trust, and our partners at Monte Carlo, Colibra, Immuta, are all helping us with building this trust, because that's the key thing for making sure we could increase the usage of data products. There's a lot of efforts going into it. If there's no trust, the platform will fall as well. So that's where we are in the journey. And let's move on to the architecture we use. It's a slightly dated slide, but 80 or 90% of the information is still intact. Uh, we still, okay, so the first part of the process is we start with the product thinking. So we start with the lean value tree exercise with the business. We actually sit in a workshop, data mesh consultants like me sit with a workshop with the business. We brainstorm on use cases, hypothesis-driven development, and then we come up with a data product which could which could actually attack the problem. And after that, we come up with a data product interaction map, and then it gives you a whole big picture of how we got to do the data products, the value, the impact, the measure of success is all defined, and then we hand it over to the technical team who are very keen about using this infrastructure, and that's where Henrik and Roberto get into the picture. So the phase is, then we get into the data pipeline phase where we start the ingestion. We started with dataops.live. We are on a migration journey to internally develop our own tool. Let's see how far that goes, but it's going great so far. We've using Colibra for our data marketplace. This is where the consumer would actually shop for data. This is where they would see what is the trustworthiness of the data. They could do the shopping of the data. It's like the Amazon for us. It's called the Roche data marketplace. And then we do the observability on Monte Carlo, end-to-end observability. And then we've got Snowflake at the center. So all our data product storage sits on Snowflake. We're starting to even starting to evolve it to data sets as well. So that's where we are. We use the modeling technique with DVA, data vault automation. So pretty much full stack, best of breed tools. You will not see that in any other company. We have everything here. You name it, you have the technology at Roche. So it's pretty full stack data stack here, best in breed as well. So if you notice, we are a bit federated in the consumption layer. So you'll see ThoughtSpot, Tableau, different technologies at the consumption layer, but we are more centralized at the data product layer. So that's the approach we've so far taken. So that's about the Data One architecture. We call it Data One. That's our platform. Anything else? Okay, this was our vision 2 years ago. This is what the mesh we wanted it to look like, and we were inspired by this, and this is what we show the business, but the business was always saying, this is a long way away, can you show me what the reality is? But 2 years down the line, now we are almost 70 to 80% here. We're starting to see interconnectivities between domains. I support the finance and procurement. Now I see safety, health, and environment coming into the picture. Sustainability wants to be on the data mesh journey. We're starting to see cross-domain collaboration, reduction of redundancies in data products, efficiency, because not everyone is now going on a data project, building their own reports or data products. So we are starting to see efficiency built into the system. So we're starting to see a lot of cost savings because of that as well. So it's a right thing for us to do at this point in time. Apart from that, okay, now let's zoom into the observability, which is basically the crux of this presentation. At how we define observability, basically we have a data product and we have service level objectives. We could have multiple service level objectives on a data product. For each service level objectives, we have service level indicators. You'll see that in the next slide. The service level objectives, we have 5 defined. These are called reliability dimensions as well from our side. Basically, we track about the availability and performance. These are data application properties. But we also have we look at freshness, we look at completeness, we look at consistency as well. And with all this, we have an average score which we pull out, which is called the trustworthiness score. And this is the dashboard which the customer will look at while they are shopping for the data on the Roche data marketplace. So this is this is how we will show the trustworthiness, and the data product owner would really have a look at this. If there's some actions to be taken, they would look at it and take actions. And this is how we build trust. So with this, we'll dive into the manufacturing use case, and we have Henrik who will start first, and then Roberto who will just continue into this, how we deep dive into this manufacturing use case with all the technical terms. Yep. Over to you, Henrik.
Thank you, Santosh. Can you hear me? No?
Clicker.
I have to click?
No.
Is this on?
Yeah, that's...
Can you hear me?
Do you want to sit?
No, right?
Fine.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Hi, everyone. A few months ago, to be exact, on the 6th of June 2024, so just before the summer, I received an automatic email alert in my mailbox from our observability platform, Monte Carlo. And it had turned out that more than 50 of our source tables had an absurd increase in volume over the last 24 hours. Like literally millions of rows were being dumped in our Snowflake warehouse that Santosh showed you before, where only like hundreds or a few thousand were expected. So thanks to that very early warning, we were able to come together, analyze the problem, figure out the solution, execute upon it, clean up our environments, and we did all of that between Thursday and Friday. And on Friday, not a single data product downstream had been impacted, and no one on business side had even realized that anything had gone wrong in the first place. And you can wonder if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know, but that's what the life of a data engineer is all about. So hey, I'm Hendrik. I'm a data engineer at Roche Diagnostics, and we have been scaling our data products very significantly in the last few years, both in number and in size. And that also means that we have been dealing with these kinds of stories literally on a weekly basis. So what we want to do right now is run you through a few use cases of how data observability has really shown its value for us in, at one hand, scaling our products, while at the other hand, keeping them healthy and keeping oversight. And so we do that within our domain. But before we get there, let me just backtrack a few seconds and give you guys some context into what's actually going on, because maybe you know Roche, maybe you don't, but within the diagnostics, we are part of the manufacturing domain. So we are one of these bubbles that you saw before. And in the manufacturing domain, you have to imagine Roche manufactures a lot. And I want you to imagine big machines that go into laboratories and go into hospitals, and we produce all of the little sensors and the cartridges and all of the small plastic pieces that are being consumed by these machines. So, in other words, we work in operations. We work in daily operations, and the business teams that we work for, they need to make data-driven decisions, hopefully, and they do that on data that was literally produced a day ago, but maybe just a few hours ago. So we really have to make sure, that's our promise from a technical side, that they can trust the data. Why do they have to trust the data? Well, so, you know, hopefully you don't make any mistakes. How do we deliver on that promise? We do that by responding very fast to any form of data downtime. That's our promise. So how do we do that today? We have 6 data teams spread globally across the world. That amounts to about 30 developers. We're 2 of them. We manage more than 3,000 tables in production, and that leads to about 100 data products. So we are the fastest and the biggest domain today within Roche, and we're also very proud of that. That also means that we deal with all the issues before everyone else, which is less fun. But so with a ratio of 1 developer to 100 tables in production, I hope that gives you some idea of why data observability is really growing in importance for us and keeping that entire thing going, because now it's really a matter of keeping it up and running while scaling it, right? Growing them while keeping it healthy. So with that said, let me pass on to Roberto for our first use case.
So hello. Yeah, that works. So thank you a lot, Henrik. So I'm Roberto. I'm a global data engineer at Roche. I've been using Monte Carlo for the following use cases that I will show today for the past 3 years, hoping to be able to grow these use cases and many more in the near future. So here, the first use case I want to highlight is actually the one that we were using the most. during this year is actually the data lineage. Of course, here at Big Data London, you've heard about a lot about this data lineage. A lot of tools are implementing this functionality, but I want to highlight is definitely the automation, the automated data lineage across, not just on the production branch, on the main branch, but also on the development branch. This helps you to overview. Moment. Yeah, this helps. Sorry, this helps you to get really fast insight of which data team is doing what. Here in this example, you see a data product with 100 plus upstream tables. That means 100 plus source tables and 50 plus Tableau reports. I think it's a bit cut, but you can see it. So of course this is a edge case, so not every data product has so many source tables and so many Tableau reports, but especially on such use cases it's really important to have everything in one tool. You don't want to also manually type in each one-to-one connection to the data product. This actually really is helpful, that's automated. And I want to talk about two things why this lineage, especially in such cases, is really important. We often got a request to create data products from known sources, sometimes one, sometimes multiple. And during this discovery phase, as soon as you know which data source you want to load, you can go to this tool and look, is this data source already been loaded? If yes, is it even also already used by a data product? So, and also having this data lineage seen, you can see each transformation, each column, how it's been used. Having an understanding of this lineage helps you to understand, is there maybe a collaboration going, there a collaboration happening? Can we, most of the time this collaboration are even cross-domain collaboration. This actually helps us to mitigate one of the main issues of the decentralized data modeling, which is duplication. The second thing I want to talk about in this slide, this use case, is having an overview of who is consuming your data product. Especially if you created a data product, you want to know, is this worth it? What is the value of the data product? You can show, hey, in this case especially, all these Tableau reports, you see there's some value to this data product. This helps you if you want to update the data product, something, maybe you need a breaking change, you know who to contact. Maybe even helps you to give a rough cost estimation of this change. The next use case I want to talk about is where this observability really is helpful, is on looking at the performance of your queries. Like here you see a snapshot actually of some of the queries of one warehouse of the last few days. This helps you to pinpoint where are the bottlenecks in your pipeline and streamline the effort to reduce the technical debt on exactly where it's needed the most. This helps you to improve the overall performance. By continuing monitoring this performance helps you to maintain a high performance of your overall pipeline and quickly address emerging issues and reduce cost consumption. The next slide is how we manage actually by looking at this performance, we realize what are the most consuming pipelines. And here you see, even though we have a steady increase of pipelines each day, by updating our pipelines to a new standard, we could reduce a cost saving of 20%. And this is even shown here. Doesn't sound like much, but we were really proud of it because compared to the whole scale, it's nice to see in the effort that actually the data engineering effort can be seen in such a graph. with that, I want to hand over again back to Hendrik, who will talk about the third use case.
Hello, hello. Hi, number 3. All right. Hi. All right, so Roberto just already told us that the data lineage, the concept you all know, has really drastically increased in importance for us inside the data mesh, because it really allows our developers to explore the mesh and to know what other domains are up to and connect the whole thing. Secondly, has shown how query performance monitoring has already directly saved us thousands a month. The third use case I want to talk to you guys about that has really shown its value to us is monitoring data products as a whole. Really, what has been very significant for us is having a single consolidated dashboard for a single data product. So this is an example of such a dashboard, and let's have a closer look to what we see here. So first of all, in the columns, we see all the observability dimensions, and at least the ones that we're interested in, as well as, for instance, the quality that comes out of our DBT errors. Secondly, we see all the tables or data sets inside our data product. So you can have multiple tables inside the product. But not only that, and so thirdly, what's most importantly is that you don't only see the alerts from all your tables inside your data product, but also from all the tables that feed into our data product. So this is where you see all the upstream alerts. And that part is absolutely crucial, because what we have learned is that it's not because a table, for instance, the first table is fresh, it's nicely checked, that doesn't mean that everything upstream is fresh as well. And that has led to a lot of issues in our case. But now with these kinds of dashboards, as a data steward, I can very quickly, I can just click on that number and I can see where the alerts are. I can see the data steward behind the other products or tables, and I can kindly, politely ask them to go and address their issues and change the status on their alerts. And if they do that inside our observability platform, then I can directly follow up on that, so I can even see if their status changed. So in other words, in a single glimpse, as a data steward, I'm now empowered to monitor a dozen tables in a single glimpse. And that honestly really helps us to grow our products and keep oversight over them at the same time. With that said, I'll pass on the last word to Roberto.
So, yeah. So we have reached the last slide. In conclusion, I want to focus on strength at first, and then I will talk about opportunities. With strength is definitely about the first use case I'll talk about is discover the lineage of your data product. This gives you transparency and actually focus on the efficiency. With monitoring data products and monitoring its performance, you can reduce the tactical debt. And with monitoring your SLIs, which leads to your SLO, service level objectives, it helps you in the certification process of your data products. Now the interesting, sorry, too many clicks in this slide. Go into the opportunities. Yeah, I'll just do it like that, it's easier. We want to prioritize effort based on lineage to have to be able to discover our gaps in the whole data product landscape and creating cross-domain collaboration. By tracking our data product and usage cost, not just on a single query or a single table or data set, but on the whole data product lineage, helps you to have a better cost estimation of the whole data product. Also, if it's about the business implication or if you want to calculate the business impact of your data product, having the cost of the whole lineage, not just one table, helps in this process. The last point I want to talk about is to propagate ownership between systems. Having the names of all the different owners in the different system combined in one tool helps you to give an overview to who to contact with. In our case, especially, in which we want to grow in the future, is helping to direct the alerts to the correct audience. Especially, I'm sure data engineers among you know this issue. If you created the alerts, easily can lead to the alert fatigue. So that's why you want to create the audience to have the alerts directed to the correct, for example, the service level objective directed to the data product owner, or pipelines fails to the developer. That's it. We are already done for the for our slide for the use cases. So I'm happy to. I think we have time. We have 5 minutes for questions. Happy to answer it. Thanks a lot for your attention.